Hello everyone, it's the Fantasy Football Almanac back at it with another puppy draft video. Today we're launching in with the ninth pick, $5 down to potentially win 200,000. We're drafting with 12 other people, including his name is Robert Paulson, Mr. Luke P, McQuags, something like that. I don't even know. But it should be pretty good. We got Stephon Diggs coming off the board at 6, Najee Harris at 7. We could potentially take Austin Ekeler at pick 9. It's unlikely. I think T. Cunning will most likely be taking Austin Ekeler here. But it is possible. Austin Ekeler does come off the board. Now after this, I think there is kind of a tier break. I mean, I will take Derrick Henry here most likely, but after this, I don't really like it as much. We do get Derrick Henry, though. And if you guys do enjoy this fantasy basketball content, please go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment. Let me know how you think I did, and include the hashtag bestball. So that way you can be entered into the giveaway. Giveaway to win $50 to Underdog Fantasy. I'm not sponsored or anything, just out of the kindness of my own heart. And that giveaway will be announced once I hit 50 subscribers, so please do go down and subscribe as well if you do enjoy. Anyways, that's it for introductions. We got Davante Adams, Travis Kelce, CeeDee Lamb. Now we're getting into the good stuff. We got Joe Mixon and DeAndre Swift. And Saquon Barkley still on the board. There's a lot of guys we like here. These three are really the main ones here. Potentially DeAndre Swift is great as well. I think DeAndre Swift's a phenomenal pick, but I think most likely Saquon Barkley will be coming off the board here to upper slad. And we will end up with DeAndre Swift. Saquon Barkley does come off the board, so we will take DeAndre Swift. It's crazy how much Saquon Barkley has risen up boards in the past couple of weeks. I mean, it's actually been insane. It's the same thing with Christian McCaffrey, though. I mean, these guys who just have unlimited amounts of upside just keep rising higher and higher and higher, and it's actually ridiculous. I mean, in redraft, I would definitely advise to say take DeAndre Swift over Saquon Barkley, but in a format like this, in a format where upside is king and upside is all that matters, I will definitely 100% be taking these guys, Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, above, just because the upside is really all that matters. I mean, a core of DeAndre Swift and Derrick Henry is fine. I'm definitely not mad about it. But Saquon Barkley has been rising and rising and rising up boards, which is good because he's definitely one of my most owned players according to exposure rates. I'm not sure exactly how much Saquon Barkley I have, but it's definitely pretty fine. We got Deebo Samuel coming off the board too, Mark Andrews, Mike Evans, Alvin Kamara. Tyreek Hill's been floating around this 20 range. I think he will continue to stay there. I think it's just below that Deebo rung, that Mark Andrews rung of players, but he certainly deserves to be there. Now at 33, this is where picks get interesting, because I'd say around pick 30, there is a tier drop-off. Whoops. So it is entirely possible we do potentially get a little screwed. I'm not sure who exactly I would take at 33. I know guys I like, but it all just depends on who falls, whether that be DJ Moore or James Conner. I do like a lot of these guys, though. We got A.J. Brown coming off the board, a guy people really, really like. And both these guys, they're taking their sweet time. They're taking the full. So we're going to have to wait here for approximately 2 minutes because C.T. Hall's taking his sweet time. Don't really know why. Don't know why people do this, but it's okay. We can talk a little bit more fantasy. He takes T. Higgins and Javonte Williams here. Pretty interesting combo. I think Javonte Williams is somebody I've been rising on at least a little bit. I mean, I think his upside is insane in best ball formats because, I mean, if Melvin Gordon goes down, he's a top 5 running back easily. I mean, I would take him. I would probably take him 6 here, honestly, over a guy like Stephon Diggs. Just because of the offense he's in, the role he's going to have. But Melvin Gordon, man, I mean, people are saying, oh, it's going to be a 70-30 split. It's going to be a 60-40 split. And, I mean, that could definitely be true. I think Javonte Williams will be receiving more workload than Melvin Gordon, but everyone was saying that last year, too. I think I've never seen the Broncos run a full backfield through somebody. If Javonte Williams does get that full backfield, though, I mean, I'm going to look like a total idiot for saying that because it is certainly possible he does, and the talent is definitely there. But with the re-signing of Melvin Gordon, I am a little bit concerned. So we are securing one of Mike Williams, DJ Moore, or Keenan Allen. I really do prefer DJ Moore at this point. I think DJ Moore is an absolute beast. I mean, guy's getting 1,100 yards, and he's got the best quarterback of his career. Obviously, the touchdowns aren't there as much. But at the same time, I mean, DJ Moore was playing with Kyle Allen. He was playing with Sam Darnold. None of these guys are really quarterbacks you can be excited about. I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is, but he's certainly got to be better than Sam Darnold. I mean, if Sam Darnold wins that job, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably end my fantasy football channel. No, I'm just kidding. So subscribe now while you can. Get more of this fantasy football content. We got Travis Etienne still on the board, not playing in the Hall of Fame game, unfortunately. So actually, I think the Hall of Fame game was today, if I'm not mistaken. That's the first NFL football we have seen in so long, honestly. Hollywood, he was arrested, so a little concerning taking Hollywood here. I would prefer to get ETN, honestly, but either way, because the wide receivers we can take in the next round are insane. 57. 64 is a little risky. It is possible to get Amari Cooper if these players are not really the smartest, but I think they are because Sutton at 35 and Keenan at 34. So we probably will not end up with Cooper here, but we can end up with Godwin at 57. Somehow, Travis Etienne is still on the board. Travis Etienne is still on the board. So we're taking Travis Etienne here. We'll get 3 absolutely insane running backs here. And then go from there, 57 and 64. Because the thing is, we don't need... I mean, we'll be taking one more running back probably at pick 88 here. But then other than that, we don't need another running back for the entire rest of the draft. Which is exactly how I like to do it. I mean, just get 4 insane running backs. I just hope they don't get injured, because at the same time, when you're taking like 5 or 6 running backs, it's just like, ugh, you know. You just lower your ceiling. And in a format like this, you can't afford to lower your ceiling at all. I mean, lowering your ceiling is probably the worst thing you could do. Scary thing is here, though, we do have Darren Waller coming off the board, pick 38. I don't know what that's going to mean for tight ends in the next round. I'm not sure if Kittle will be coming off a little earlier because of it. But it is possible, so we do have to watch out a little bit, just strategy-wise. Lamar Jackson, second quarterback off the board, pretty interesting. He does have Mark Andrews, so I can see it, I guess, but I don't understand reaching on these stacks. I think reaching on stacks is the dumbest thing you can do. Reaching on stacks just feels so stupid. I mean, don't reach on stacks, I'm telling you guys, because somebody has the same roster, but instead of getting Lamar on the 4th, they get Lamar on the 5th, and then end up with Allen Robinson. Jalen Hurts coming off the board, pick 48. Painful. Painful for me. I was hoping to take him at 64, and he comes off the board at 48. I mean, at this point, if we can get a Herbert, I would take him. I don't think we will, though. We're 8 picks away. I mean, these 2 guys would be awesome. Deontay Johnson would be good. I mean, he did just sign. He gets his 2-year extension earlier today. $27 million guaranteed. It's a 2-year contract, which is like a pretty light contract, honestly. But the Steelers, they always like to draft their wide receivers, grow them, and then get rid of them. Just because they know how to pick their wide receivers so well. And that is something that concerns me. You got Pickens. I forget who else they took, but they took one of their very talented wide receiver. I mean, it is a little intimidating. I think Calvin Austin was his name. We got Pat Mahomes off the board. Somehow Herbert's still on the board. Kittle would be a nice pickup as well. Montgomery off the board now. It's so weird seeing this guy's name. It's so long. It just like takes up like double the space of like a normal. I wonder how he did that. I wonder if I could do that. Right now I got my normal name, but I would definitely like if I I could switch it one day. I have been trying to correspond with Underdog. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but that's okay. One day. We got Herbert somehow still on the board. This is crazy. And there is a lot of wide receivers we still like, too. There's 3 guys. So I say we... Justin Herbert off the board. I say we do take the risk, though, if Kittle is still on the board. We take Kittle. I think Kittle will get sniped from us, though. I think it's going to be painful, but it's going to happen. If it does, I mean, probably I would go Godwin's off the board. I was going to say we go Godwin. But instead we go George Kittle, which is more than fine. And then hopefully end up with one of these 3 guys. DK Metcalf off the board. We're 5 picks away. It is possible. We just need a reach or 2. One of these guys all pretty much have 1 running back. So it is possible at least one of them takes an Elijah Mitchell, a Josh Jacobs, and A.J. Dillon. And if we get 1 or 2 of those, we are fine. And I would really love to end up with Amari Cooper here, honestly. Michael Thomas comes off the board, giving us a pretty big opportunity. We got Big Marley taking Darnell Mooney. and Amon-Ra. There's two guys we like, and there's two people left. We just need one person. Elijah Moore comes off the board. I don't know who I'm going to take. I would probably take, at this point, I guess I got to go Bateman for the ADP. I really wanted to go with Amari Cooper. I'm sure Amari Cooper comes off the board right here or within the next 2 or 3 picks, but I really wanted to go Amari Cooper there. I just couldn't will myself to do it. I think Amari Cooper would have been a phenomenal pick. Which is why sometimes I don't like having that choice because they're like two guys I would have easily gone with there. But Rashad Bateman's a phenomenal player, and we do have a really well-rounded team. Amari Cooper coming off the board 2 picks later. I think this team is so well-rounded. We just don't have a quarterback, but that's okay. 81. I mean, since we have George Kittle, there is potential. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'm saying it's possible we could trade Lance here, which would be nice. Trey Lance has been absolutely rising up boards. I'm not sure how much further he can possibly rise. I mean, I'm a little nervous about that. Maybe we take. I don't really want Dalton Schultz. Actually, I take it back. I mean, Dalton Schultz would be nice, I guess. Lazard would be nice. Trey Lance, Lazard, Schultz. All these guys would actually be really nice. I imagine these two running backs will be off the board. Antonio Gibson continuing his free fall. Makes sense. I mean, he's not going to be getting that third down work, but he still will be, I think, a somewhat talented running back. And now he's definitely getting to the point where he's got to start to become a value. I mean, I haven't really been taking him as much just because I want to limit my exposure. I don't want to be too overexposed to a guy. I ain't really taking him too much, but just the amount he's falling. I mean, I think if you're playing in like a sleeper league or something like that, like an ESPN fantasy football league, like a redraft with like your home buddies, don't take any Antonio Gibson with a 10.5 foot pull. Every single casual ADP is going to have Antonio Gibson super duper high because, I mean, somebody's going to reach on the name. They're going to say, oh, he was RB10 last 2 seasons. Somebody's going to reach on the name. But now it's kind of like the opposite in these paid leagues. People are totally turning their back on Antonio Gibson. We have a few players we really, really like here. Dalton Schultz, I'm so glad he's been falling. I've said this in a couple videos now, but Dalton Schultz was somebody I was saying should start falling again soon just because he was getting absolutely pushed up boards. And, I mean, well, he did have a great opportunity share, getting 800 yards, and he's going to be even more successful this year, most likely, just because he's got more opportunity. I mean, I think Dalton Schultz is a really pretty good pick, but I think his ADP when he was going at 65 was just too high for me, too high for my taste. Josh Jacobs still on the board. Personally, I'm not taking much Josh Jacobs just because of the situation. I mean, they're saying he's most likely going to be in a committee situation, and he's going much higher than Antonio, like a whole 11 picks higher than Antonio Gibson. And he's most likely to be in like a similar type of committee situation with, honestly, I hate to say it, more talented backs behind him. I mean, Kenyon Drake is better than J.D. McKissic 100%. All right, so we got 2 players we like here. We're 4 picks away, so we shall see who comes off the board. Trey Lance, not sure how he's going to be as a quarterback in the NFL, but as a fantasy player, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to find people with more upside than Trey Lance. Josh Jacobs comes off the board here. We are most likely taking Trey Lance. Dalton Schultz would be a really nice pick, but having the Trey Lance, George Kittle stack, Trey Lance gets sniped from us. That is devastating. I jinxed it. I totally jinxed it. That's okay, though. So Antonio Gibson coming off the board. We still have 3 QBs, though, that we could take here. I mean, the thing that stinks is, like, there's just not as much upside here with these guys like a Joe Burrow. But, I mean, if we could take Burrow here, I pick 88 when his ADP 73. I don't think it'll happen because none of these guys have QBs, but it is possible. Well, worst comes to worst, we would probably end up with Dak. That's worst case scenario, I think. I mean, I hope Burrow. I hope Burrow. And then Deshaun Watson's been falling down boards again because the NFL has appealed his situation, as it says here, to appeal 6-game suspension. Which, I mean, it is possible. I don't really know what the heck's going to happen, but I mean, it's really impossible to predict, but I don't foresee him getting suspended for the whole season. And then if I get Joe Burrow and Deshaun Watson, I mean, these are 2 guys I think could easily finish in the top. I I mean, Joe Burrow would be top 10, 34 touchdowns. I mean, he slings. Joe Burrow getting sniped from us. A little unfortunate. I honestly think I might take Tony Pollard here just because he's a receiver, he's a running back, he could do it all. If Zeke goes down, I mean, Tony Pollard's absolutely insane. And then we just have all of our running back situation figured out. And then at the 105, I don't know who will go just yet. Probably, I don't know. The wide receivers in that position really suck, honestly. I don't really like going at 105 to get a guy like Chase Claypool, Garrett Wilson, any of those people. Unless somebody falls, I think this range for wide receivers is pretty disgusting. Rondo Moore is good. I've been scooping up a lot of Rondo Moore. He's somebody who's been rising draft boards quite a fair amount, which is good. And then maybe the round after get Christian Watson. I could also try and get a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Tom Brady's still on the board. These quarterbacks have been falling a fair amount. We might try and go with the Deshaun Watson type strategy where we're going to put Tom Brady and just take Deshaun Watson. So, something like that. Or Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson. Anything. I mean, maybe even you can make a case for Baker. I don't think I'd do it, but it is nice. I mean, we have our running backs completely finished, and we have our tight ends completely finished. So now it's just wide receivers and QBs. Which is pretty nice. I always like doing that. I think because like you build up strengths, and we have strengths on this team. We definitely have strengths, but we have pretty prevalent weaknesses as well. There are a lot of wide receivers I like late. I mean, especially if we are going with Deshaun Watson, getting Donovan Peoples-Jones, getting David Bell. I mean, these are all guys that could really play well if Deshaun Watson is in. That's what matters. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing up here. We got Garrett Wilson coming off the board. I'm not sure exactly when I should pull trigger. Probably 136 is probably when I'll pull trigger on Deshaun Watson. But I have seen him fall pretty far down draft boards. I've seen boards where he falls to like 180. As you see in my last video that I just uploaded last night. By the time you're listening to this, we got Rondo Moore coming off the board, pick 97. Wow. Oh my God. Somebody who I think is pretty undervalued in general, but 97 seems a little high. I guess these wide receivers are coming off the board a lot here. Maybe Tolbert would be interesting here, honestly. Tolbert's a guy walking into guaranteed opportunity and in a very high passing volume offense. So it is possible I could justify it. I mean, it does kind of stink because we do have a lot of running backs. We want these wide receivers to start falling. I mean, if it does come down to it, I think we have to take Tom Brady here, though. Even though we couldn't get Godwin, we couldn't get a stack. I think Tom Brady's the pick if we can get him. I mean, 20 picks behind ADP, I'll take him. Can't be too mad. We might go Stafford here then. Bad tendonitis and throwing elbow. I mean, that stinks, I guess, but I'm taking Stafford here. I gotta stop saying that. I always say that, and then I always get sniped. This is a little painful. But we're definitely going Stafford here. I'm not jinxing us because he's definitely not going to pick 105. This guy's already got 2 QBs. Who does he have? Kyler Murray and Trey Lance. If this guy goes Stafford, I mean, this guy's absolutely insane. T. Cunningham's got no brain cells if he goes with Stafford here. Maybe he's on an auto draft. Who knows? We're about to find out, though. He could honestly be on an auto draft. He's not. Let's go. We get Matt Stafford. And now we're going to start up Deshaun Watson here. And then if we don't get Deshaun Watson, honestly, I'm thinking we go Baker. Ceiling's pretty low with the quarterback selection, but at the same time, I mean, it's something you might have to do. And the thing that's nice about Deshaun Watson, I mean, is it's a 6-game suspension. Matt Stafford's got a week 7 bye, so he can fill in as soon as Matt Stafford goes on his bye. Matt Stafford's still, I mean, at least in real life, he's an insane quarterback, but in fantasy, I mean, he's at least like an average quarterback, I would say. Like a low-end QB1, but that's fine. I mean, that's all you need. And he's going into year 2 with Sean McVay's offense. I mean, usually when quarterbacks switch to an offense and get into a new offense, they need a year to adjust. So we'll get Jalen Tolbert, though. Finally getting our wide receiver 3. Our wide receiver situation's pretty dire, honestly. Every other situation's pretty good. I mean, Stafford's at least fine for us. But our wide receiver situation stinks right now. I won't lie. hopefully we can get the guys like Christian Watson, like a Gallup here. I mean, Gallup would be awesome because then we get Tolbert and Gallup. Joshua Palmer would be nice. I'd take George Pickens or Nico Collins. Then Chef, especially if you have Stafford, so any of those deep bombs. Paris Campbell would be nice. KJ Hamler. Romeo Dobbs. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Because the only other thing we have to draft is Deshaun Watson. And we probably won't take Deshaun Watson at 129. We'll take him maybe at 136. Just because this guy, ZK5, doesn't have a QB. I'd say taking him at 136, and all these guys do, so. I think it's fine. I think it's fine taking him there. I think there will be some drafts where Deshaun Watson falls all the way to pick 200, and I just don't understand that. I mean, I don't see how you can take a guy with so much upside so late. I think having too much exposure of Deshaun Watson's not good, so I've been trying to moderate it, but I mean, he's definitely my most drafted quarterback in terms of exposures, and it's not particular. I mean, it is particularly close. Deshaun Watson and Jalen Hurts are far and away my two biggest quarterbacks in terms of taking them. And I think it's pretty smart. I mean, I really, really like getting Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Not as an NFL quarterback. I mean, as an NFL quarterback, he'll be fine, but as a fantasy quarterback, oh my God, you can't ask for anyone better. We're going to take Christian Watson here, most likely, as long as we don't get sniped, which is possible we do. But honestly, I kind of just went with value in this draft, getting all these running backs late, just because the wide receivers have been going so early. I mean, we did get Rashad Bateman at a huge value, which is awesome. And George Kittle was a good pickup as well. I think now we just gotta hammer this wide receiver value and take our guy Deshaun Watson. It's been overall an interesting draft, and if you guys are still watching, please go down, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel so you be entered into the contest, and comment #bestball for your entry itself. It is going to be a pretty dope contest. If you do win the $50, I'm going to be so happy for you, and I hope they end up winning some money on Underdog Fantasy with the $50. We've been getting sniped on Christian Watson a fair amount lately. It's been pretty infuriating, but we're going to get him here at pick 129. See, at this point, he's been floating down boards because of his injury. Normally, I would take him all in this 109, 120 range, but now that he's falling another round, I will gladly wait another round to get a guy I still think is insane. Then here we might go Jacoby Myers, just to get another wide receiver in this offense, get another name, and then go Deshaun Watson here, most likely. Just because it is possible he falls, and I would rather wait another round if there is potential that he falls. But we're going to end up with Jacoby Myers here, unless he gets sniped, which is fair. I mean, getting him at a 6-pick value here, potentially. Let's see what Nate C. Smith does. He goes KJ Osborne. John Dotson off the board. We're going to get our guy, Jacoby Myers. I like Jacoby Myers. I think he's a guy who's walking into guaranteed targets and touchdowns, not really that high, but one of the most volatile stats. Because of the low sample size, I mean, you're only getting so many targets in the end zone, all that stuff. And I mean, Damian Harris got 15 touchdowns last year. You figure that might not happen again. Probably won't. Also, what's his name? Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry got like 9 touchdowns last year, and he's a big body guy, so you figure there he goes off the board as we speak. Speak of the man, and he shall appear. But he's a big body guy. But I mean, 9 touchdowns for the amount of yards he had. It's definitely an anomaly of some kind. I mean, it's not like Robert Tonyan level anomaly, but it certainly is up there. I mean, it's a little nerve wracking. But we do have a lot of these backs coming off the board. I'm a little nervous. ZK5. ZK5 did get a quarterback, though. He did get Justin Fields, so it is possible. So it is good. We're kind of waiting, potentially, on Deshaun Watson, just because I think it's smart to wait on a guy like that. If he is going to fall, you know. Especially with this news. I mean, he's been the most volatile player. I think, no doubt in my mind, he's been the most I mean, I don't know if this is actually true in terms of like statistical analysis, but he's been the most volatile quarterback in terms of ADP, most volatile player, most likely in terms of ADP in the entire best ball community. I don't think there's any player who's suffered a similar ADP drop just to revive it, and then probably going to go through a huge ADP drop yet again because of this news about the NFL peeling, and it is possible he doesn't play a single game this year. But again, we're trying to win this $200,000. We're not trying to win. We're not trying to win the league and just have a safe draft and then get out and win, I don't know, $20. We're trying to win this $200,000. We're trying to bring this $200,000 to a 0.01% chance to a 0.02% chance. Because that's really what it comes down to. We want to build that ceiling as much as possible. And the thing that would make me so happy is if I was in this draft during a YouTube video. I mean, that would just be sick. Like, I get to point back and look and say, oh my god, this is who I took at pick 12. This is who I took. Like, that would just be awesome. I mean, honestly, that video would also probably blow up. If it were this one, I mean, that would just be sick. Like, that would just be awesome. Odds are pretty low, though. But the odds are a lot higher now that we probably will get Deshaun Watson here, which is good. And honestly, these drafts are like so fun. I love doing this. I mean, I do at least, even off YouTube, I do a couple of these drafts every day. I love this. I mean, it's just so fun. It's addicting. And I mean, it's a really good way if you just want to spend a couple bucks, you know, you have some free time, and you just want to train for your home league. I think it's great. So we're going to take Deshaun Watson here. We're going to get our second QB. If he is only suspended 6 games, this is a perfect situation. And then we probably will end up with Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Bell as well. I mean, we don't need to take any other positions but wide receiver here, so, which is honestly really nice too, because it's now we just hammer take best available wide receiver and end up with 10 great wide receivers. What did Duvernay? George Pickens coming off the board. We'll probably go Van Jeff. I think Van Jeff's probably the best pick, though. Actually, no, I think Van Jeff is the best pick. And the reason why I think Van Jeff is the best pick is because we do have Stafford, and we're potentially getting him right around his ADP. I mean, it is a slight reach according to ADP, but it's nothing crazy. I mean, people will probably have slightly better stacks on him, but I mean, I'm not getting him at pick 177, that's for sure. And also, even though we did reach slightly on this pick, we got Matt Stafford at discount, so it pretty much evens out. And any crazy long touchdown that Van Jeff gets, we're going to be reaping the benefits from. He gets an 80-yard touchdown, we're going to have Stafford, and we're going to have Van Jeff. I think the stacks are the best to get when you're down low. Everybody wants... I can't say this enough. Everybody wants the Josh Allen Diggs stack. Everybody wants the Mahomes Kelsey stack. Everybody wants the Eckler Herbert stack, Mark Andrews, Lamar, all these guys. You want those stacks. So you go and you reach. And the thing is, there are definitely going to be people who have that same stack, but it fell to them. And although it doesn't happen every time, like, I mean, a lot of times, like, let's say you're in this situation with Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, you want Lamar to fall to pick 53. I would say 80% of the time, 85% of the time, you're not going to get Lamar Jackson falling to pick 53 here. I mean, actually, no, I take that back. It's probably like 50-50. But if it's 50-50, there are 50% of drafters who are having Mark Andrews come to them at 20, because that's around where he is, and then Lamar at 53. And then it's the same thing with Stefon Diggs here, right? Take Stefon Diggs at 6, and you take Josh Allen at 30. There's lots of drafters. Stefon Diggs goes an average of 7 or 8. There's a lot of drafters who probably got him at 9, and then got Josh Allen at 33. Or got Stefon Diggs at 9, and then somehow got really lucky and got Josh Allen at 40. You can't expect that level of luck very often, if at all. But it is certainly possible. Oh my god. We have a lot of wide receivers coming off the board. KJ Hamler, a guy we really like. Paris Campbell, a guy we like. Nico Collins, a guy we like. And Romeo Doubs, a guy we indeed like. So it is a little tough to see. I mean, this round is full of guys I like. Tyrion Davis-Price being one of them. Although Tyrion Davis-Price, I think his ADP is Excuse me. The AP's falling a little bit. It is 10 p.m. right now when I'm recording, so I'm a little tired. Had a full day at work. Either way, though, we're in a position now where we're just going to be hammering these wide receivers. I'll probably end up with Jameson Crowder, Donovan Peoples, Duvernay, David Bell. I think that's fine. And then we pretty much call it a draft at that point. I really do like this team. I mean, the only weakness is wide receiver. But the thing I like about having... Oh my god, I drafted these guys and they have the same bye. That's funny. Good thing we have a lot of week 9 buys. We got Deshawn Watson on week 9 bye, Tony Pollard, Jalen Tolbert. We do have a lot of these week 9 bye guys, which I'm more fine with. I like stacking buys because I think it's better to lose 1 week and like suck it up and just have that 1 week absolutely blow than lose 5 weeks or have a weaker team 5 weeks. I would rather just absolutely shit the bed 1 week and be at full strength every other week. I think that just makes more sense to me. I'll take that loss 1 week. Who cares if it's a guaranteed loss? I mean, because then you have teams where you're playing at full strength and every other team's playing at weakness. This is at least for redraft. I mean, in best ball, it doesn't really matter too much. But here it does a little bit more. So we're going to end up with Donovan Peoples. And then we're probably going to take David Bell here. I don't like Corey Davis. Alec Pierce. Maybe I'd take Alec Pierce here. That would really be the only guy. So we probably will go Alec Pierce here. And then I probably will call it a video. So we'll take Alec Pierce here. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys who like and enjoy my videos. It really does mean the world to me. I mean, I love doing this, hoping one day to be able to do this full-time so I can provide you guys with the best fantasy football insights possible. Help you guys win your league. Please go down, like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy. Comment hashtag best place. You guys can be entered in the contest once again. And subscribe. I mean, so you never miss best ball content ever again, or fantasy content, or anything. I got rankings, running back rankings coming out soon. So please go down and subscribe. It will be life changing. You'd always change your mind later. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great night.